So, I wish him the best at the coach thing. He always was a ball player, so it's second nature to him. So maybe that's, where he's supposed to be.
Master P just made one of the boldest pivots of his life. And that's saying something for a man who turned $10,000 and a record store into a $480 million empire. He built No Limit Records into a machine that sold over 100 million records, flipped movies on shoestring budgets into box office wins, and turned a tank logo into a global symbol of hustle. To most people, his so-called retirement from rap looked like a victory lap, a chance to step back, enjoy the fruits of his grind, and let the next generation take over. But if you listen to his recent interviews, you realize it was never that simple. There was the downfall, the family heartbreak, the quiet smoke with other power players, and a man trying to figure out who he was once the noise stopped. By the time Y2K hit, Master P was sitting on top of the world. No Limit was everywhere. Album covers stacked in stores like fast food menus, new artist after new artist dropping every few weeks. It was genius at first. Flood the market, control the shelves. Make sure if somebody walked into a store looking for rap, they walked out with a No Limit product in their hands. But what made the label unstoppable in the late 90s slowly turned into a liability. The same release, everything strategy started to wear fans out. The music felt less like events and more like output. Quality control slipped. People couldn't keep up, and when an audience feels overwhelmed, they start to check out. At the same time, Master P himself kept hinting at retirement. One year he talked like he was done. The next, he'd drop another project. Those announcements, meant to create drama and scarcity, ended up confusing people. Fans didn't know whether to invest emotionally in an artist who might walk away at any moment or keep a little distance just in case he really did disappear. Then came the identity tug-of-war. On one side, you had the gritty, street-heavy No Limit sound. On the other, Master P was pushing a more family-friendly lane, especially once his son Lil Romeo entered the spotlight. The move made sense as a father and businessman, but it created a branding problem. Was No Limit still the Raw Street label?
Gotta give it to Bird, man. He started that stunt. You know I started that stunt. Well, guess what? I was uptown too, and I started that.
Or was it becoming a kid-friendly franchise? A lot of people didn't know how to feel about both existing under the same tank. Behind the scenes, the brotherhood that built the label started to fracture. Artists left, lawsuits piled up, deals got messy. And in 2003, the unthinkable happened. No Limit Records filed for bankruptcy. For a company that had been one of the most profitable forces in all of music just 5 years earlier, the fall was loud. But as heavy as the business crash was, it still didn't cut as deep as what was going on in Master P's personal life. Losses and betrayals that no amount of money could shield him from. Long before bankruptcy, fame, or even national recognition, Master P's life was shaped by loss. The pain didn't start in the boardroom, it started in the streets. In 1990, his brother Kevin was murdered, a tragedy that permanently shifted P's mindset. That was the moment he realized survival wasn't guaranteed, and if he didn't escape the environment he grew up in, he'd be next. That pain became fuel, but grief like that never leaves. It just gets quieter. But the real emotional avalanche came in the 2000s, a period when his business was booming louder than ever. The world saw money, music, movies, and tanks rolling across the charts. They didn't see what that success was costing him behind closed doors. His brother Corey Miller, known as C Murder, was convicted of murder in 2002, a case that has sparked controversy for over 2 decades. Master P has fought relentlessly for Corey's freedom, speaking out, paying legal fees, and even organizing rallies like the 2020 protests that reignited nationwide attention. But the burden of watching your own brother sit behind bars, while you're out building empires and touring the world, creates a guilt and heaviness that never truly lets up. And then came the tragedy that shook his entire family to its core. In May 2022, his daughter Tatiana Miller passed away at just 29 years old from an accidental fentanyl overdose. She had battled addiction and mental health struggles, battles that often exist in silence, even in wealthy households. Fame doesn't shield a family from pain, it magnifies it. Every private moment becomes a public conversation. Rather than hide, Master P confronted the pain head-on. He spoke openly about mental health, addiction, and family healing. In interviews throughout 2025, he emphasized the importance of unity, of protecting your loved ones before it's too late, and reconciling with his son Romeo Miller after years of tension and public disagreements. Real growth doesn't happen in front of fans. It happens in living rooms, in emotional conversations, in choosing peace over pride. His marriage also collapsed under the pressure. After 24 years, P and his ex-wife, Sonia C., officially divorced. Master P later revealed that he had been protecting her publicly, concealing personal issues to maintain the image that fame demands. But all facades crack eventually, and when they do, everything spills out at once. Yet as heavy as the family pain was, another tension had been simmering for decades, one tied not to blood, but to the streets and the business of New Orleans hip-hop. His long, complicated history with Birdman and Cash Money Records wasn't just rivalry. It was rooted in project loyalty, alleged street violence, and business power plays that shaped the entire Southern rap landscape. If you want to understand the real tension simmering beneath Master P's rise, you can't just talk about albums and money. You have to talk about New Orleans, a city where loyalty to your project is deeper than rap, and where two empires, No Limit and Cash Money, grew only blocks apart but in completely different worlds. Master P came out of the Calliope Projects, also known as the Calliope or Callio. Birdman came up in the Magnolia Projects. In New Orleans, that wasn't just geography, that was identity. Those neighborhoods operated like their own nations. Folks from the Callio and folks from the Magnolia didn't mix much even before rap money hit the picture. So when two street-certified entrepreneurs rose out of these rival territories and built global labels, the city watched with curiosity and quiet caution. Birdman has always played the situation off with a light explanation. We from two different projects. It just never mixed. No beef, nobody dead. We just didn't vibe. But anyone who truly understands the city knows the story was never that simple. Behind closed doors, there were whispers of real bodies, real trauma, and family wounds that shaped how Master P viewed Birdman and vice versa. One of the darkest rumors involved Terrence "Gangsta" Williams, Birdman's brother, a man allegedly connected to over 40 killings. Street chatter long suggested he was involved in the murder of Master P's cousin Randall Calliope Slim Watts, though Williams has repeatedly denied it. Still, in a city where family blood runs deep, denial doesn't erase tension. The Calliope Magnolia divide was written and lost long before music turned it into a narrative. Then came the business smoke, a whole different battlefield. In the late 90s, Cash Money was exploding thanks to Juvenile, BG, Turk, and Lil Wayne. Universal wanted them. Priority Records, the same distributor that helped No Limit dominate, wanted them even more. Birdman claims he nearly locked down a priority deal until Master P stepped in and blocked it with one code line. If y'all sign Cash Money, you can't sign anybody else from the South. If that's true, it was a heavy strategic move. Priority had the infrastructure that helped make No Limit unstoppable. If Cash Money gained access to the same pipeline, it could have split the South's momentum in half. Birdman says that pushback forced him into the Universal deal, the same deal that years later triggered lawsuits, royalty battles, and Lil Wayne's explosive 2015 split. Master P denies sabotage, framing it as nothing more than competition between two businessmen trying to protect their empires.
It was the perfect
Bro,
yeah.
like right there watching y'all, and I heard him, and then when you came out after the song ended and said it, I thought to myself, because I could see the crowd go about it. They went crazy.
Yeah. Birdman remind me of like one of my uncles that they just gonna say whatever. That's just a New Orleans thing. So I ain't really take it, but I'm like, bro, I've been out here already. You know what I'm saying? You started that, or the name of that stunting, but me, as far as body, this is what I started. And I, we come from that. We come from uptown, Third Ward, Cali, They come from the Magnolia. And that's good.
We never tried to destroy each other. The younger generation needs to take notes. For years, the culture dreamed of seeing these two New Orleans giants share a stage. And finally, on October 25th, 2025 at ComplexCon, it happened. A Cash Money versus No Limit versus, marketed as unity, history, and celebration. Master P, Snoop Dogg, Mia X, Juvenile. The room was electric, but unity is fragile. Mid-performance, Birdman launched into a rant about disloyalty, aimed squarely in Master P's direction. The tension was so thick the live stream chat froze.
I gotta give it to Birdman. He started that stunt. You know I started that stunt. But guess what? I was uptown too, and I started that.
Then came Master P's clapback, sharp, Perfectly timed, delivered with the calm tone of someone who'd been waiting decades to finally speak on it. Yet in the most unexpected twist, Master P crossed the stage afterward and extended his hand, offering Birdman a dap and a nod of acknowledgement. Birdman accepted, but dipped out fast, fueling online theories. Was it peace? Was it pressure? Was it unfinished business pretending to be unity? When No Limit's golden era faded and the pressure of family tragedy, business setbacks, and decades-long tensions took their toll, most people expected Master P to disappear from the spotlight. They thought the man who once commanded a $500 million empire would quietly bow out. But they didn't understand who Percy Miller really is. Every time life tried to retire him, he reinvented himself. After No Limit's bankruptcy in 2003, Master P didn't sit around mourning the downfall of the tank. He simply built another vehicle and kept moving. In 2005, he launched Gutter Music with Romeo, a label that allowed him to stay independent while passing the game down to the next generation. By 2010, he rebranded again with No Limit Forever, proving he wasn't clinging to the past, he was rewriting it. And while people were still debating whether the No Limit era was officially over, P had already shifted into acting, business, and sports. He appeared in films like Foolish and produced the sitcom Romeo, which ran 3 seasons on Nickelodeon. He wasn't chasing Hollywood clout. He was creating spaces for his family to shine. Then came basketball. Not as a player this time, as a mentor, trainer, and strategist. He put in real work coaching AAU athletes, helping develop future NBA names like DeMar DeRozan. People laughed when he tried to make the Hornets roster back in the 90s. They weren't laughing when he started shaping the careers of future stars. In 2013, he was inducted into the Louisiana Music Hall of Fame, becoming the first hip-hop artist to receive the honor. That wasn't nostalgia. That was recognition of a man who changed the structure of the music business. By the mid-2020s, P's business empire was more diverse than ever. Uncle P's Foods, PM Properties with over 100 real estate units, energy drinks, consumer goods, even partial ownership of House of Glory Wrestling. He stacked his net worth back up to about $200 million. But this time, the foundation was broader than music. Then came July 6, 2025, the night he took his final bow in rap. At the Essence Festival in New Orleans, Master P announced his farewell performance. After nearly 40 years, countless records sold, dozens of artists launched, and an empire that changed hip-hop forever, he stepped off the music stage, but not out of the spotlight. Because just months earlier, in early 2025, he accepted a role that shocked the sports world. President of basketball operations and head coach for the University of New Orleans Privateers, Coach P was officially born. And he didn't just take the job, he transformed the entire program overnight. 13 new recruits, upgraded facilities, a rebranded athletics department now integrated into the LSU system, a renovated locker room covered in Bible verses and life lessons, a jumbotron, community nights, free tickets for 4,000 middle school kids to experience college basketball for the first time. This wasn't just coaching. This was mentorship. This was purpose. Critics pointed out he doesn't have a traditional college coaching resume, but supporters countered with something simple and undeniable. He knows how to build champions on and off the court. And while he retired from rap, he proved he wasn't retired from the culture at all. On the same night as the Cash Money versus No Limit versus October 25th, 2025, he dropped a surprise album. Not a comeback, but a statement. Master P isn't done. He's just choosing when and how to show up. By 2025, Master P wasn't just a survivor. He was a blueprint. His net worth, estimated around $200 million, came not from nostalgia or one last lucky break, but from decades of diversification, reinvention, and an unshakable belief that ownership is the only real power in entertainment. The music royalties still flowed. No Limit's catalog remains one of the deepest, most valuable independent archives in hip-hop history, but that was only a sliver of the empire. The real money came from what Master P always understood better than almost anyone: product, property, and people. His Uncle P's food brand expanded into seasonings, snacks, rice products, and pantry staples. His real estate arm, PM Properties, grew to more than 100 units across Louisiana and California. His investments stretched across consumer goods, beverages, sports, and even partial ownership of House of Glory Wrestling, a nod to his love for entertainment that goes beyond music. Master P also stepped deeper into his role as New Orleans entertainment ambassador, using his influence to highlight local artists, entrepreneurs, and youth programs. Unlike many moguls who leave the hood after blowing up, P remained connected, not out of obligation, but because the city made him and he still sees himself as responsible for giving it more than he took. One of the most powerful parts of his legacy is who he inspired. Nipsey Hussle, one of the brightest independent minds of the 21st century, openly said Master P shaped his approach. The strategy Nipsey used, owning your masters, controlling distribution, using the majors without becoming their property, came straight out of the No Limit playbook. And Nipsey wasn't alone. Labels like Quality Control and artists across the modern era owe pieces of their business model to the road P paved when nobody else dared to. In 2020, the No Limit Chronicles documentary aired on BET, opening a new generation's eyes to just how revolutionary Master P's rise really was. The series didn't just recount his achievements, it contextualized how he did it. From selling tapes out of the trunk to negotiating a priority distribution deal that allowed him to keep 85% of revenue and own all his masters, he proved a kid from the Calliope could outmaneuver an entire industry designed to exploit artists. Fans wrote reviews calling him a real boss and the blueprint for independence. Even 2 decades after No Limit's peak, the documentary reignited calls for C Murder's release, showing that P's influence still moves conversations in real life, not just online. BT ranked him number 28 on their list of most influential rappers, but the truth is, that number barely scratches the surface. Because Master P didn't just influence rap, he reshaped the architecture of the business behind it. He taught artists that signing a deal doesn't equal success. He taught hustlers that the streets can be temporary, but ownership is forever. He taught young entrepreneurs that reinvention is the only way to survive. And above all, he taught the world that your past can be your power if you're willing to outgrow it. But P's story wasn't finished. Before his reign truly began, before the tank rolled across the charts, before the platinum plaques and movie deals, there was a boy in the Calliope projects who saw poverty, violence, and death up close, and decided he wasn't going to die in the same place he was born. Before the platinum plaques, before the tank logos, before the Forbes lists and Hall of Fame awards, Percy Robert Miller was just a kid trying to survive the Calliope projects of New Orleans, one of the toughest environments in America. Poverty wasn't a condition there, it was the air. Violence wasn't an event, it was routine, and dreams weren't encouraged. They were usually extinguished before they had a chance to grow. Born on April 29, 1970, Master P was raised primarily by his grandmother after his parents separated. From the start, life taught him lessons no classroom could teach: how to navigate danger, how to keep your head up when the world pushes it down, and how to make something out of nothing when nothing is all you've ever had. He bounced through several New Orleans high schools: St. Augustine, Booker T. Washington, Warren Easton, absorbing the culture and energy of a city that would eventually beat inside every No Limit beat. But even while the streets shaped him, basketball offered a glimpse of something beyond them. He had real skills, enough to play at the University of Houston. But P understood something most young athletes don't. Athletic dreams are fragile. He needed something that would last. So he transferred to Merritt College in Oakland, majoring in business administration. That's where the transformation really began. While other future rappers were focused on lyrics and clout, P was studying marketing, distribution, capitalization, ownership, the mechanics of real wealth. He wasn't trying to be a star, he was trying to build a system. Then came the tragedy that changed everything. In 1989, his grandfather passed away. The family received a malpractice settlement, and P inherited $10,000. To a young man with no safety net, that money could have gone fast. A car, clothes, distractions. But Master P had vision. He used the $10,000 to open a record store in Richmond, California. That tiny store became the training ground for his entire empire. By watching what people bought, which artists moved units, what covers caught attention, why some albums sat on shelves while others flew out the door, P learned the psychology of the consumer, the game behind the game. Then in 1990, another devastating blow. His brother Kevin was murdered. Instead of dragging him down, the pain pushed him harder. He wanted out, not just for himself, but for his entire family. By 1991, the record store evolved into No Limit Records. P began releasing tapes, building a grassroots following in both California and Louisiana, learning distribution by doing it himself. He wasn't chasing mainstream acceptance, he was building his own economy. The big break came in 1995, when he negotiated one of the greatest deals in music history, a distribution partnership with Priority Records that allowed him to keep 85% of revenue and retain full ownership of his masters. That deal changed not just his life, it changed the industry. By 1998, No Limit grossed $480 million, dropping albums like Water and dominating the charts. Films, clothing lines, sports ventures, everything P touched became a revenue stream. He proved you didn't need the system, you could build your own. And through every triumph, every tragedy, every reinvention, Master P became something bigger than a rapper or mogul. He became proof that your environment doesn't define you, proof that ownership is freedom, proof that reinvention keeps you alive, and proof that a kid from the Calliope could rise so high that the world had to look up to see him. Master P didn't just build an empire, he built a generational blueprint, one the culture still follows today. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Master P's journey, make sure you like, share, and subscribe for more powerful stories that uncover the truth behind hip-hop's greatest legends.